Easy Rider is one of those great films that isn't a particularly good one. Its greatness results from its huge impact and influence. One of the earliest Hollywood efforts to deal with the counter and drug cultures, it opened up new opportunities on which other filmmakers could build. It achieved all of that almost by accident, however. Its historical significance is undeniable, but how it stands on its own is more open to debate. Dennis Hopper directed and co-stars as Billy, a scruffy drug dealer riding across country with his cohort Wyatt, aka Captain America, Peter Fonda. Having scored a major drug deal in LA, the pair set out on their souped-up bikes for New Orleans at Mardi Gras. Along the way, they encounter various characters, most famously drunken lawyer George Hanson, Jack Nicholson, in a series of vivid episodes presumably calculated to display, even revel in, an America of people, places, and ways of life missing from Hollywood's polished dreamscape. Working from a minimal script with a sensuous, unpredictable response to the action, it is as vibrant and, in its way, appealing as ever. Its blasé acceptance of the drug culture, both on and off screen, and the freewheeling sex are just the way into a cinematic vision of America shorn of gloss, rough around the edges, violent, messy, but strikingly alive to the way people live, work, and talk. While the picaresque structure could have produced little more than a drug-themed travelogue, Hopper and cinematographer Laszlo Kovacs keep the characters and events vivid through rapid, fluid movement, a fresh response to the surroundings, and the judicious use of the famous rock score. Indeed, given that much of the shooting was apparently improvised, Easy Rider is remarkably successful at a purely technical level. The problem is that the rich atmosphere does not seem to be about much of anything. To their credit, Hopper and Fonda seem to understand that their fairly unattractive characters are protagonists without being heroes. The few attempts at a big statement, such as Wyatt's late proclamation that, quote, "we blew it," unquote, have the thudding heaviness of the worst kind of meaningful underlining. Lapses like that line, or technical flourishes like the annoying flash cuts from one location to another, or the nightmarish LSD sequence in New Orleans are only intermittent, but they stick out as blatant attempts at redolence through superficial effects. Without a tighter grounding, such efforts, particularly the more portentous ones like the violent ending, feel more arbitrary than meaningful. Easy Rider also suffers from what made it originally successful. Because the subversiveness of some of the details has faded, pot smoking, for example, is unlikely to scandalize today, the film carries a bag of period assumptions and postures that almost define dated. In a rich irony, Easy Rider's very important as a quote-unquote great artifact is, like the counterculture it depicts, an implicit admission of its contemporary insider status.